all these little points like ching, ching, check, check, check. You're just checking all their boxes off. That's why people pay us, is to do all these highly skilled things so that you get more things done properly. That gets graded by Google and the algorithm, and you get a better grade, and your keyword rankings go up, or your map rankings go up, or your reviews get better, or whatever, right?
Yeah, you could take all this stuff and just say that what Google wants is data, and lots of it, and they want it. They don't want just individual pieces of data. They want it cross-referenced and indexed.
I'll take that cross.
Yeah,
that's a new. That's a Google. They want it kerfuffled.
They want a kerfuffle of data.
Kerfuffle.
But they want it all integrated and working together to give them the most information they can, and they like it when they see it. And if you're not doing that, but your competition is, your competition's going to show over you, and vice versa. If your competition's not doing it, but you do, you get the top spot.
Yeah. Hey there, guys. It's Nolan and Jason here.
Howdy.
We're going to talk about what does Google want for you guys to show up in search rankings.
Everything. Podcast over. Shut it down. No, I'm kidding. They do, but anyway.
They grade probably a little bit of everything, right?
They do.
So the algorithm, I think, used to be extremely simplistic and looked at inbound links and a tiny bit of content, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, at one time, it was just the links.
It was just the links at one time, and then it was content, and then it was regular work, and the amount of content, and blogging, and it just kept going, right?
And about every 3 to 6 months, they add another wrinkle. They're constantly looking at new stuff.
Supposedly every week or so it updates now or something.
They do minor updates, but
then there's a major
core algorithm updates every 3 to 6 months.
Every 3, we just had one, right?
Yeah, I had one about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, so we just had a little one slightly change, and they're trying to always make it better. So I guess if you want to look at the basis of this, Google's trying to make the web a better place and trying to provide the best stuff to show the person who searches on Google.
And before you think that sounds like they're trying to do something out of the goodness of their heart, they're not.
Well, yeah.
They're doing it so that you trust them and you go to them for search so that they can sell ad space.
Right. Yeah, it's a good arrangement overall. Yeah. It just makes them a whole lot of money.
Symbiotic.
Yeah. So if you'll produce something for your business that's best for your client, that's best for the Google client, which is the person searching to get your services, right? So as long as you have a site that's meant to tailor them, make it easy for them to read, easy to navigate, easy for Google to read it, right?
Right.
Personalized photos and little bits about your reviews, or easy click buttons to social media, or news or new blogs readily available. Just all those little things so they can look around, and Google sees a lowered bounce rate and sees all the stuff and reads all the code base, and then you work on it regularly. Those are things that they're going to want to see. I wrote down some stuff. Code base and schema. I'll slow down. I'm running through them too fast, man.
Yeah.
I have no podcast here. You want to
just read the list and we'll
read the list and we're done. This is ridiculous. I'm having to sit here in this yellow chair and talk to people. All right. Anyway, go. What about code base and schema code?
Code base and schema. Code base is valid HTML, which means it just means it's coded properly. Your code base can affect things like your load time. If your code is sloppy and choked, then the page loads slower because there's just too much there. So your code needs to be clean. You need to use semantic markup because that helps. It's the first layer that helps Google understand what pieces of the website mean and what they are. And then you add into that, you add schema, which defines every part of the page as this is the header, this is the footer, this is our logo, this is our company name, this is our phone number,
location,
this is our address, this is our
category.
This is a geographic location. You can actually code in geo coordinates and schema that indicate that this is the geographic area that you serve. Our review platform, Righteous Reviews, it actually uses geo-based schema to show that you've done work at a given location.
That's just the sweetest stuff.
Freaking brilliant.
Yeah.
And Google respects that when they see that we've done work here and there's geolocation information in the code and everything, they say, oh, yeah, and they're more likely to show up in the mapping for that part of your service.
Or your
area.
organic, if it's tagged, like we do to tag it to the service and city pages, then you're
we get both.
Yeah.
You get it on the keyword and the map.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get both that way.
So I mean Jason explained it because he's more into that end of things, but he's more into all these technical things than I am, frankly. But
and the other thing about schema I just wanted to say is, if you look at the vast majority of sites out there, the schema is, they might have the business name and the phone number schema, and sometimes not even that.
Yeah.
It'll be 2 or 3 things. We schema over 100 points of data on our sites.
we talk about this all the time, really. But we were utilizing schema probably well before the algorithm even gave any credibility to it to speak of.
Yeah.
And the industry still isn't doing it properly, and we've been over 3 years with it.
Right about that, yeah.
Right at 3 years. So we've been doing this for
actually going on 4
years.
Yeah.
They just now started doing it.
Yeah, they just now started hardcore. We were at a conference last fall, and there was a guy up on one of the workshops exhorting everybody in there to do more schema, and Nolan and I sit there at the back all smug.
Well, yeah, they were like, literally they were almost like, what's schema?
Yeah,
You know?
some people are like, well, how do you do it? And what's this?
What
and we're
is it?
just
Where
like,
do you go? Yeah. But I mean, this is one of the things, we were talking about this in an earlier podcast, and is people don't know what we do on some of the stuff.
Right.
And schema is definitely one of those things. So how do they know that there's 100 pieces of schema? We talked about this too. I mean, at some point you got to pick a company and trust them on some things. Like how do they know that there's geo-wrapped schema inside the review platform that gets tagged to the page when they use their web app properly?
Yeah.
They don't know. But if we don't do these things properly, the customers don't stay on with us to pay us for the services. But we do schema code wrapped inside some software that we have exclusive rights to, and then that software tags it to the service page that somebody's at. So you can go to a job site and do home repair of some sort, and then just tag it, and it geo wraps it within 2 blocks, drops it on a pin on their map, on a major map, drops it into a mini map on the service page, right?
Yeah.
They can take a picture and drop it on there, and then when the homeowner gets it texted or emailed automatically after they do that, then it cookie tracks it and then drops that geocode wrap into the review, whether it's a Google or Facebook or Yelp, and then that drops onto the organic page as well.
Right.
Not just residing on the review platform, which allows your organic side of things to go much better. And then it would be very difficult to cheat on all this to show it, so it's pretty highly credible stuff of changes that Google would see on your website.
Yeah, and we've done tests and we've seen that they absolutely honor and respect the use of this.
Yeah,
so
it's a way to turn what would basically be a fairly, I'm going to call it cheesy or gray area city page into something robust and valid in the eyes of the search engine, right?
Right.
And then the chance of your city pages showing up are much more. Tons of people who call here want all the cities. So tons and tons of people. This is off track slightly, but whatever. It doesn't even matter. This is interesting stuff. So they come up and they go, well, I'm in Arlington, Texas, but I want Dallas, Fort Worth, and all 80 other cities.
All 80 small towns around the DFW Metroplex.
So we put in 20 cities for them, right? And they would have no chance in showing up because there's over 10 million people here, and there's tons of the same sorts of businesses in every city.
Right.
But all of a sudden they're using their reputation management software, checking in on every job, wrapping stuff in schema code. The check-ins show in on the service page, the check-ins show in on the city page, and then when the reviews happen, they also populate there. Google sees extreme, relevant, highly coded, highly trusted changes on those pages, and you actually have a shot for the city pages showing up.
Right.
So, not to mention we stick other schema code on those city pages, which is schema ordered list, which delineates every single service they do within inside
ties
the page.
the service into the location.
Instead of just a cheap intersite link,
Yeah.
it actually wraps it in code that understands better, right? So
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's badass stuff.
We spent a year developing it. So
what does Google want? Like the most integrated, best stuff they could possibly get.
Right.
The most little thing. All these little points like ching, ching, check, check, check. You're just checking all their boxes off. That's why people pay us, is to do all these highly skilled things so that you get more things done properly. That gets graded by Google and the algorithm, and you get a better grade, and your keyword rankings go up, or your map rankings go up, or your reviews get better, or whatever, right?
Yeah, you could take all this stuff and just say that what Google wants is data, and lots of it, and they want it. They don't want just individual pieces of data. They want it cross-reference and index.
I'll take that
Croft.
Yeah, that's a new. That's a Google. They want it kerfuffled.
They want a kerfuffle of data.
Kerfuffle.
But they want it all integrated and working together to give them the most information they can, and they like it when they see it. And you know, if you're not doing that, but your competition is, your competition's going to show over you, and vice versa. If your competition's not doing it, but you do, you get the top spot.
Yeah. I had a guy call the other day. I think I told you about this, and I wasn't trying to be rude to him. I thought he was trying to be rude to me, and he was he called up.
I think I know.
He called up. He wanted all this stuff done, right? People. I mean, part of me at this point, I'm actually pretty good about still talking to people. Every once in a while, I'm not talking to people all the time, but if I do talk to somebody, I'm pretty good at saying, okay, you don't understand it, and I'm here to teach you. I'm a fairly good teacher on this stuff, I think, without too much sarcasm and stuff. But this guy called up, and he said, but it's just been a decade of talking about it. So, but he called up.
Some days you just can't deal with it anymore.
He's this older guy with a country voice. He's like, he told me he was 60 years old, and he was just getting involved. He said, hey, I need to get on. And he's from Alabama. He's like, I need to get on the internet, and I don't know nothing about it. And well, what can you do? And I told him what we could do, and he said, well, I don't even say the price because I want to date this thing to price or anything. But I gave out a price with 99 afterwards, and he asked if it was 99 cents or the $100. He removed 2 decimal places on it. And he said, is that this amount or $.99? And I was like, well, thank you for calling. And he said, okay. And I said, bye. And then he called back and he said, well, I don't appreciate that. And I said, what? What did I do? And he said, well, you were teasing me about stuff. I said, I thought you were messing with me. And he said, well, no, I didn't know anything about it. And I said, well, okay, you said 99 cents, and he said, well, and then he started listening to this technical process on one of his home services. He said, did you understand all that? I said, no, sir. But if you were out and explained all that, I wouldn't have asked you if it was 99
$1.
cents. Yeah. And I said, so you can see how I might have thought you were jacking with me. And he said, okay, fair enough. And I'm like, we had some good old boy.
Yes, we charge $1 a month, and we have 200,000 clients.
Yeah.
That's the only way we can make money.
Even this guy at a home by himself doing the service, I said, nobody would have asked you if it was 99 cents, sir. Like, come on. I wasn't being rude. But anyway.
Toilet replacement for $1.
Yeah. But you do. I'm going to snake that drain. I'm going to fix that crack. I'm going to dig up your lawn.
$1. What do we have that? We had that client in here one time that kept repeating his tagline of home of the $25 service.
How much $25 service cost?
He said it 100 times.
How much $25 service cost?
Noel and I were like,
well, he kept explaining it to us.
Like we didn't understand the concept.
Like explaining the concept enough was going to have us magically manifested into the world of the internet and make him an internet superstar.
Yeah.
For, it's like if I can just like get my telepathy to work properly, these guys will harness their super nerd skills well, they'll go Super Saiyan, and then it'll be like
people watching this have no idea what we're talking about.
Nobody knows Dragon Ball Z, man.
Maybe some of the parents do.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Anyway. Yeah. So Super Saiyan, this is when Goku turns into the ape.
Yeah, when he goes big,
the big ape. Right?
Glows and his hair stands on end.
No, I thought that was the Super Saiyan. What's the one where he turns into the actual monster, the ape?
Oh, you know what? You might be right.
That's Super Saiyan.
I haven't seen it in years.
I don't know. Anyway, it was the best, man. Anyway, I'm not a complete self-proclaimed web nerd.
I am.
Or like digital nerd, but Jason claims to be, and a lot of people here are.
Dude, my office is half full of Legos.
I just happen to know what Dragon Ball Z is because that was a badass cartoon, and those dudes would freak out and like throw fireballs at people and stuff. Had the old dude and everything. This green dude. What was the green guy's name?
Oh man. See, I like Dragon. I was never huge into Dragon Ball. So
The green guy. It wasn't. Anyway. No, 90% of people
Was
watching
that
this.
Vegeta, the green guy?
No, Vegeta was the mean, smart-looking guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Vegeta was the mean. Vegeta was.
But he's not a nerd.
Vegeta was a super. Vegeta was a super mean guy that could just beat up everybody.
Okay.
He's like almost godlike. The green guy was, I can't remember his name. Anyway, 90%.
Well, we went off topic.
If any contractors are watching this,
Yeah. Home of the 99-cent service code.
yeah, you should buy from us because we all know
Because we know a lot about Dragon Ball.
all this nerd terminology. Yeah.
That's our credentials.
So Google's going to want code base and bounce rate and branded stuff and reviews and citations.
A word about bounce rate.
Yeah.
If somebody tells you that they're going to get you a 30% bounce rate, they are lying.
Yeah.
They are reversing the numbers. Bounce rate
I
is
have
how
something I wanna
quickly
say.
people leave your site. And people generally, on average, a whole bunch of people are not going to spend their whole day reading your contractor services
Right.
website. Some will, but not everybody will. And so if someone says they're going to get you, that means that only 1/3 of people left that site in less than 2 minutes.
You need higher conversion. You need bounce rate. So customers will get into this every once in a while. Get in their
That's why I
console.
brought it up. We had a customer claim.
So the customer will get on and go, well, now this will be before they call.
Yeah.
My bounce rate is ridiculous. Like 88% of people just leave, or 83%. I'm like, okay, that's probably kind of normal. I'll say it's like leave within what length of time, and like define it a little bit. And they're like, well, I get tons of calls. So they're looking at analytics with robots scrawling it, right? And they're like, well, I get tons of calls. I get 200 and 300 clicks a month, and therefore I should be having 150 phone calls. Well, for one thing, no. Most of the traffic is probably not legit traffic anyway.
Right.
And then the bounce rate is going to stay high all the time.
Yeah.
And
when
mainly
we
what-
see a 70% bounce rate, we think that's great. And by the way, we get a lot of those.
We get a
We
lot
get a
of
lot
them.
of them down to 70%.
Yeah,
and
I'm not
that's
saying we
good.
don't get good bounce rate. What I'm trying to explain this is that the problem, because
Yeah, I was trying to explain what a good bounce rate
what a good
actually
bounce rate
yeah.
is. But the problem is when people call, their bounce rate, your bounce rate will be, let me say something else. Your bounce rate would be better if the site looks better design, better user interface,
Yeah.
better content, personalization, easy links to stuff like reviews and all those things will help. But the bounce rate is not your problem. The problem is when anybody calls up here is that they think they're on one or two keywords, they just don't have enough traffic.
Right.
They just don't have enough traffic. Can the bounce rate get twice as good? Maybe, but that's not the problem. If their bounce rate got twice as good as they had right there on the spot, they still won't get any calls because they have no traffic.
Right.
It's mainly a traffic issue. Once you add all the elements, we have call to action in the header. We have phone numbers up there. Am I calling local? Is it the service that I wanted? There's a logo, there's a statement. There's a
Who you are, what you do, how to reach you.
yeah, who you are, what
Top
you
of
do,
the
how to
page.
reach you. Are you local? Then some good content, some personalization, a contact form, reviews, more content, easy navigation, and go through the site. Then there's your conversion.
Right.
And if you have that down, you're going to automatically start getting more clicks because you're optimizing better. And if they work on it regularly, then it'll optimize in your conversions there, right?
Right.
Your conversions as high as it's going to be. All right, content, reviews, content, blogging, regular work, unknowns, work in Google My Business, social, and always more stuff. There's always more to do. You can work in Google My Business a lot nowadays.
Right.
Posting stuff, answering clients' questions, responding to clients' reviews.
You can put up an FAQ.
Yeah, FAQs
Yeah,
now.
You can do posts. You can put up advertisements,
Yep.
graphics, stuff like that.
Yeah, I just slacked a couple people in here about it today on some of that.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all this stuff they need.
If anybody can hear noise, it's the dumpster outside our studio.
Why they have to bang it that hard? But it's like there's a dumpster just across the parking lot.
And they go and they pick it up, and then they pick it up and go, clang, 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 clang.
I don't know. You think they would probably have to do it that way, right? To get
I
stuff to
guess.
get out of there. But anyway. All right. I doubt they could hear that though. I don't
I don't know.
They could hear
If a bunch of people respond to this and say, what the hell are you guys talking about? Well, no, they could.
it. Yeah. So Google wants all this stuff, and I guess the worst mistake you can make is to put up a website and have it go stagnant and not work on it.
Right.
At least if you expect it to go big. If you don't have much money right now, it's better just to get a website up and then let it stay and maybe just get reviews and work on that. But at least something up is better than nothing. But if you're really trying to grow your business and you expect to make a lot of money, you should expect to participate in many things online. We, of course, do tons of them for you. I don't need to go into that much. There's obviously, we do that stuff. So you guys could call up here and we'll help you out, tell you what we do and answer any questions.
We'll answer any questions you have about Dragon Ball.
I don't know. I'm still trying to remember the green guy's name, but
I'm going to have to look it up after
we're
we're
gonna look
done.
it up later.
It's going to bother me.
All right, guys, if you want to become a client or have any questions, we'd love to hear from you. And glad you listened or watched, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.